Have you ever wondered how the nation of Bangladesh came to be as we know it today? It's a question that invites us to delve into a past steeped in rich culture, fierce resilience, and transformative change. From the ancient civilizations that first settled along its fertile plains to the modern nation that stands today, Bangladesh's history is a fascinating tale of evolution and endurance. Embark with us on a journey back in time as we unravel the rich tapestry of Bangladesh's history. Our story begins in ancient times, where the region now known as Bangladesh was part of the historical area of Bengal. This land, cradled by the Bay of Bengal and the Himalayas, beheld the rise of early civilizations that shaped its rich history. Among the first to call this land home were the Vanga, Pundra, Suma, and Anga. These ancient kingdoms, each with its own distinct culture and identity, left their marks on Bengal's rich tapestry of history. The Vanga, perhaps the most recognized of these early dynasties, is often associated with the legendary Prince Vijaya, a figure of great importance in the epic Mahabharata. As time marched on, the Mauryan Empire emerged, led by its most renowned emperor, Ashoka. Under his reign, Buddhism spread across Bengal, intertwining with the region's cultural fabric. Ashoka's rule was characterized by a period of peace and prosperity, his edicts carved in stone pillars serving as lasting testaments to his benevolent governance. Yet, the Mauryan Empire was not the only significant influence in Bengal. The advent of Hinduism brought about a profound shift in the spiritual landscape. This age-old religion, with its pantheon of gods and intricate rituals, became deeply entrenched in the lives of the people, shaping their beliefs and traditions. As the wheel of time turned, Bengal was swept by the tides of change. Dynasties rose and fell, each leaving their own unique imprint on the region. From the Gupta Empire, known as the Golden Age of India, to the Pala dynasty, the last Buddhist empire in the Indian subcontinent, each era added a new layer to Bengal's historical canvas. As centuries passed, Bengal witnessed the rise and fall of many empires, each leaving their own unique imprint on the region. Their legacies, etched in the annals of history, continue to echo down the corridors of time, shaping the cultural and historical identity of modern-day Bangladesh. Our next chapter unfolds in the 12th century, with the Islamic conquest of Bengal. As the centuries turned, a new power emerged on the horizon. The region saw the establishment of the Delhi Sultanate in the early 13th century, marking a significant shift in the political landscape of Bengal. The Delhi Sultanate, an Islamic empire stretching across large parts of the Indian subcontinent, asserted its dominance, leading to an era of Islamic rule. This period was characterized by a profound transformation in Bengal's cultural, religious, and social spheres. The Delhi Sultanate's influence was far-reaching, but it was the establishment of the Bengal Sultanate in the 14th century that truly marked the spread of Islam in the region. The Bengal Sultanate, a predominantly Muslim state, was a beacon of cultural and economic prosperity. It was a period of dynamic change, with the Sultanate promoting the growth of towns and cities, the establishment of new trade routes, and the flourishing of arts and literature. The spread of Islam during this time was not just a religious transformation, but a societal one. It brought about changes in the architecture, language, and customs of the region. Mosques and Islamic educational institutions sprouted across Bengal, nurturing a new generation of scholars and thinkers. The Bengali language too was influenced by Arabic and Persian, enriching its lexicon. With the Islamic rule, Bengal experienced significant changes in its political, cultural, and social landscape. As we move forward to the 16th century, we find Bengal at the heart of global trade under European colonial powers. The Portuguese were the first to arrive, setting up trading posts along the coastline. They were attracted by the prosperous region's abundance of goods, from textiles to spices. However, their rule was not without controversy, as they engaged in piracy and slave trade, leaving a profound and lasting impact on the region. Following the Portuguese, the Dutch East India Company established their presence in the 17th century. They focused on the trade of silk and cotton textiles, which were highly sought after in Europe. The Dutch influence was largely economic, with a lesser emphasis on cultural or social change. In the 18th century, the French made their foray into Bengal, setting up trading posts in Dhaka and Chittagong. Although their time in Bengal was relatively short-lived due to their defeat by the British, they left their mark in the form of architecture, with buildings like the Ahsan Manzil in Dhaka standing as a testament to the French colonial style. The British rule, starting from the mid-18th century, was the longest and most transformative. The British East India Company initially came for trade but gradually took over the administrative control. The railway system, modern bureaucracy, and the education system were introduced during this period. The English language and Western-style education created a new class of educated Bengalis who played a significant role in the region's future. However, the colonial rule was also marked by severe exploitation. Indigo cultivation enforced by the British led to widespread misery and famine. The infamous famine of 1943, in which millions of Bengalis lost their lives, was a direct result of British wartime policies. The colonial period, while marked by exploitation, also set the stage for the emergence of modern Bangladesh. The seeds of nationalism were sown during this period, leading to the eventual struggle for independence. The impacts of this era, good or bad, continue to shape the country we know today as Bangladesh. In the 20th century, the winds of change began to blow, leading to the birth of a new nation, Bangladesh. The seeds of this change were sown in 1947 during the partition of Bengal. This was a time of significant upheaval, a time when the map of the Indian subcontinent was being redrawn along religious lines. The predominantly Muslim eastern part of Bengal became a part of Pakistan, known as East Pakistan. However, the geographical separation from West Pakistan, coupled with cultural and linguistic differences, led to growing tensions. Imagine a land, rich in culture, with a language of its own, yet the people were not allowed to speak in their mother tongue. The imposition of Urdu as the state language sparked widespread protests. This resistance culminated in the historic language movement of 1952, a key moment that fueled the desire for autonomy. As the 60s dawned, the dissatisfaction among the populace of East Pakistan escalated. They felt marginalized and neglected by the ruling elites of West Pakistan. The disparity in economic development and the perceived cultural imperialism sparked a sense of Bengali nationalism. The tensions reached a tipping point in 1971 with the outbreak of the Liberation War. This was a 9-month-long bloody struggle for independence, led by the Mukti Bahini, the liberation forces. The atrocities committed during this war, the mass killings, the displacement of people, are still etched in the collective memory of Bangladesh. The world watched as the war reached its zenith on the 16th of December 1971. On this day, the Pakistani forces surrendered, marking the end of the war and the beginning of a new era. The nation of Bangladesh, meaning land of the Bengalis, was officially recognized. The birth of Bangladesh was not just the creation of a new political entity. It represented the triumph of a people's will, their language and their culture. It was the manifestation of a dream of self-determination and freedom. And thus, through struggles and triumphs, the nation of Bangladesh was born. So, from ancient civilizations to a modern independent nation, Bangladesh has a history as rich as its fertile lands. We've journeyed together through the annals of time, starting from the ancient civilizations that once graced the land we now know as Bangladesh. The Mauryan Empire, the Gupta Empire, and the Pala Empire were just a few of these early societies that contributed significantly to the cultural and intellectual legacy of the region. We then delved into the Islamic conquest, a pivotal period that brought about a profound transformation in the region's socio-cultural fabric. The advent of Islam and the establishment of sultanates marked a new era of art, architecture, and literature, forever influencing the identity of the people of Bangladesh. Our journey continued through the colonial era, a time of foreign rule and exploitation. Yet it was also a period of resistance and resilience as the people of Bangladesh began their fight for justice and freedom, setting the stage for the birth of a new nation. And finally, we celebrated the birth of Bangladesh, a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people. The War of Independence in 1971 marked the end of a long struggle and the beginning of a new chapter in the history books. A chapter of self-rule, progress, and hope. As we reflect on the past, we also look forward to the future, ever curious about the next chapters in the story of Bangladesh.